sample superstore, which we have already used many times. There is this sheet called order sheet, where all the orders which we have placed has that information, right? If I go from the extreme right, I have row ID. I know order ID, what date this order is placed, when the order has been shipped. Likewise, what are the other characteristics of the data? What product was placed, what is the sales amount, and everything. Similarly, we have another sheet called return sheet. For some reason, the customer has returned the product and we have that order ID with us, for which the order has been successfully returned. We don't know the reason, but what we want to do now is we want to find out for this order, what is the order date? When did they place this order? So if you do it manually, like if I just Control C, copy this data and go to orders data, we already have filters. We learned how to use filters, right? So if I put a filter on this same order ID, I'll get to know what is the order date, what is the shipment date. I'll get to know all the products and all the details, right? So this is manual, which means you have to go each product by product, make a note of this. And we have probably around 800 plus products, order IDs, which are returned. Now, if you want to know for everything at once, we can use a formula called VLOOKUP. V is nothing but a vertical lookup, because here data is vertical. If your data is one below the other, which is in the rows, just one below the other rows, it is called as vertical data. Horizontal is like this. We learned about transpose, you remember? If the data is right next to each other, this is horizontal data. Okay. Now our data is in which format? Vertical format. So that's why we will go ahead and use VLOOKUP. Now the question is, how do we write a VLOOKUP? Is equal to, first call the function. And you see here, it is basically giving you a reference what this function is all looking for. First thing is called as lookup value. Means what do you want to search? I want to search this order ID. So I have selected that cell, comma, where is that information available? This order ID, you are trying to fetch what? Order date. Where is that information available? It's available in this sheet. So I'll click on this sheet and I'll select that order ID column. Okay, that is a key requirement. If you're searching by order ID should be in the first position. Okay, now either I can select everything or I can select only fewer columns. It's up to your requirement. Now what I will do is I'll only select order date, order ID and order date. Make sure you select entire data, whatever you have in your Excel sheet. You have 10,000 records, select everything, lock the cell. The moment you press F4, which means in this sheet, starting from cell B2 to C10,195, this order ID can exist anywhere in this range of cells. So VLOOKUP will take care of searching that order ID. So now we have specified where this data is available, then comma, column index number. It is nothing but once this order ID is successfully matched in the order sheet, what do you want to retrieve? I want to retrieve order date, right? Where is order date? What is the position of order date? The position is in the second. I selected order ID in these two columns, right? You have to start counting from here. So from order ID, it is in second position. So I will give 2 and close the bracket. Since it's a date field, you have got the results in a numerical format. You can change it to short date, which means for this order, the order date is 11/24/2020. Now, if I want the same results for all the other order IDs, all I have to do is double click. Okay. Can you go ahead and write this formula?
Yeah. Now here we are selecting 2 columns, so we know the number. Okay. Imagine if you're working with the data which has 25 columns, like 30 columns. How do you remember that column?
You have to count manually from here. When you are selecting only, you'll come to know.
That's what. That number also will be accurate.
Yes. Yes.
When we selecting,
It will show 20C means it is column number 20. Huh. I'll paste the formula in the chat box in case if you are looking for. Hmm. Hmm. Select everything from order ID. First column and second. Yes. BB. You can collect. You can do anyway. It will work. Lock the cell. Comma 2. It's working, huh? Now let's add another column. Now we will call this as product name. Now this time we want to search this order ID and then find out what is the product name. Okay. I'll go ahead and write the same formula again is equal to VLOOKUP. What is the lookup value? This is my lookup value. This is what the order ID I want to search, comma. Where is this orders? It's available in this sheet. Make sure your first column is order ID. Okay. Now what I do is product name is available in extreme right. So I'll keep selecting all these columns. So when you select these columns, you see here, it is saying 1R8C. 8C means you have selected 8 columns. 1R means you have selected 1 rows. So if you want to remember column position like 2, 3, 4, you don't remember it, it will automatically tell you here. If you want to fetch country, it is column 8. If you want to fetch city, it is column 9. State is 10. Likewise, if I keep scroll down, scroll right side, product name, which is 15. Okay. Now I'll select further, I'll select all the other columns also. I don't want to leave them. So total I have 19 columns, out of which the position 15, which is here, it is a product name. Instead of selecting one row, I'll select all the rows, lock the cell, comma 15. I want the 15th value. If it is matching, then give me the product name, which is in 15th position. Close the bracket. You can see the product which this person has ordered is something dot matrix printer tape reel labels. Okay. If I double click, you will see the same information for all the other orders. Can you try this? Yes, we can select the header. Working.
Pin comma 0 then.
Yeah. You selected range of data. No, you selected only order C, no? What is that? CQ. This one, orders CQ. It's wrong. It should be orders select the entire rows. Go to that sheet. Select everything now. Yeah, I'll come to that. No. You have to select from B to till T. But you are not selecting entire rows. You have to select all the rows. Go to the sheet. Select. Select everything. No, you are selecting the whole column. You should select only the range of cells like this. I'll show you. Select from here, order ID. Till here you need to select and go extreme right. Only this portion of data. Complete column. Complete column. Yeah. Okay. It's working, right? Please do the same thing for sales. And anybody can tell me what is the column number for sales? Yeah. Same formula. Instead of product name, we want sales. Okay. It's working. So you got hands-on on VLOOKUP, right? So when you give column number 16 and then give comma, it will tell you two things: approximate match, exact match. Okay. Approximate match means if that value is not found, it will try to match something similar. Exact match means the entire order ID should be exactly matching. Okay. 99% of the scenario, you will be using exact match. Don't use the approximate match. Okay. You can either double click on this, which will be false, or you can type 0. Both are same because it's a Boolean value. True means 1, false means 0. It's a Boolean value, but not mandatory to pass it. It's an optional parameter. Your formula will also be the same. Okay. Hmm. Can you verify for that? Can you search that order and verify what is there in the order sheet? There are duplicate orders, no? 100762. If you search, there are multiple orders with the same ID. Okay, so since it's duplicate, it will pick anything from that list. I mean, not mandatory because it depends on the data you work with. Generally, you don't work with duplicates skill if you look up. Right?
Usually remove the
If you have employee ID, if you are searching, it's employee, what is the salary? There is no duplicate employee IDs, right? Okay, shall we move to the next one? So far, we worked with the vertical data. What if our data is horizontal? How do we handle horizontal data? Okay, so what we will do is same data have pasted horizontally. How to paste it? First, go ahead and copy this entire data. Okay, go to new sheet, select the first cell A1, right click, paste special. Go to paste special, the last option, and there is an option called transpose. Click on transpose. Yeah, select entire, all columns, entire data. Okay. And rename the sheet, call this as horizontal orders. Once that is done, go back to your written sheets. Now, same order ID, you want to search in this horizontal data, right? Data is not in vertical format. Data is in vertical format. Oh, sorry, horizontal format. Same formula, no change. Only thing is instead of VLOOKUP, we will use HLOOKUP. H means horizontal lookup. So formula, if you see here, everything is same. Where is the lookup value? This is what I want to search. Where is this information? It's available over here. Lock the cell. Now instead of column number, it is asking for row number. If the order ID is found, what do you want? I want order date. What is the position of order date? Can somebody tell me? Order date, not order ID. 3. A3. But you have to ensure that you are selecting order ID as a first position. Okay. Okay. Second position. Same results, nothing else. Instead of VLOOKUP, you are applying HLOOKUP. Now, if you compare this HLOOKUP formula with VLOOKUP, both the answers should be same. 11, 24, 20, 20. You can't paste this data. Did you select the whole data? Click on OK. Go to that data. Where is the data? Or did you right click? Now go to that sheet. Copy. Go to that sheet. Right click on even. Right click. Paste special. Have you merged any cells? No.
After the rows, they do.
Select everything. I just selected order ID, all the rows like this.
Okay.
Comma 2.
Again.
No, why again? Only once. Look at the formula. Only once we have got, no? Don't select.
I have one question on the lookup which you have put right now.
Ravi, there's some background noise from your end.
Okay. Yeah, now can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, so in this lookup, right, the cells which we log, if you look into that from A2 to other, it says OBC. Why did that become OBC? Is it like
Yeah,
the row is at OB or something?
right. If you look at here, OBC is the column. You start
Okay.
counting from here. B, C, D, E. Likewise, if you go to the extreme end, the column is OBC.
Okay.
Okay. Hmm? It's working. Yeah. Okay, it's working. So now we worked with both VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. Now instead of order date, you want product name. Same formula. Position will change. Yeah. Position is 15. Same formula, copy paste. Give 15. You should see the product name. Copy paste the same formula. Okay. Any doubts? Because when you copy paste like this, Control C and Control V, then B2 will become C2. Okay. Then change it to B2, or else the second way to copy is go inside the formula bar, copy this, and then go into the next formula bar and paste. So that it will be as is. Only thing is change from 2 to 15, nothing else. Let's look at the next one. Match. Okay. Whenever you want to know the position where that order ID belongs to, which specific row number, your match function will find that order ID in that specific result set, which is our order sheet, and tell you where that order ID belongs to. For example, we were searching for which order, this one, right? 100762. You can see here, whatever is the row number, it will get printed there. Can you try this and tell me if it is working for you? No, you have to select the order ID. Where is the data? You just select the range of your data. Full entire data. I mean, not entire data, entire column, order ID.
This is equal to match and then.
First is equal to match.
Right.
Where is the lookup value? Order ID. Select B2, comma. Select where is that order ID? It's in column B. Select only column B, entire column B, comma 0. 0 means exact match. Okay. If you have selected with header, it will become 217. If you have not selected header, it will become 216. And you can go and verify it. That same order will be in 217 or 216.
The complete, wherever is it order, comma, less than
0. Exact match.
bracket. What I did is I selected the row ID, order ID, and order.
No. You have to only select order ID. Order ID.
Order ID. Okay. Then freeze, right?
Yeah.
Then
that's it. Close the bracket.
0.
Give 0 for an exact match. It will be there because you see that order ID would have multiple order IDs. 2 to 7 also it should be there.
Pure image also.
Maybe that order ID is not present. No, that order ID is not returned only. That's why it is NA. Okay. What is the result you are getting? Go ahead and put a filter on that order ID in the order sheet.
Yeah.
How many orders we have? Same order ID, there will be 5 or 6 records. I guess we have 4 records if you're searching for order ID 762. Can you see your order ID like this? How many such orders you have? 4 only. Can you put a filter? Or what is the response of your match function? What is the answer you are getting? No. What is the answer your match function is giving? Your answer is 2. Can you show me the formula? You have selected entire column. Should select range of columns. See here the formula B1 to B10195. No, not order date. You are searching order ID, no? Full column, which is B1 to B10,195 rows. You can select only that data. Yes. Yes. Okay. This function is useful when you want to know the position from where your order ID is derived from. Okay. Give a column name. So we have learned totally how many functions in in lookup? 3 functions, right? Let's look at the next function, index. Okay. So take a look at this function index. It is first asking for reference. Where is the reference? This order ID. What is, sorry? No, both you have. You can see here. You have both option. You can read this function in either array format or in the row format. Okay, both are same only. Whichever you feel comfortable, you can use that. So what is index function? So what you are saying now is, let's go back to our order sheet. Okay, this is our order sheet. So what I want is, I want a specific cell which has to be extracted. So I know the cell address. For example, I know from order ID, which is column 2, I want the row number 3, which is B4. B is second column, right? And row number is 4. And if I want to extract this value, I can go ahead and use index function. Say index. What is the reference? I'll select this entire data. Select from headers. I'll consider header also. Okay. I'll select the entire data block. Now, what is the row number? I want row number 3, column number 2. Not column number 2, column is 1. We selected only one column. Row number 3, column 1. Okay. So this is very useful when you are trying to extract a data. You know the position of your data, which means you have 10,000 records. You want a value which is in the 4th column at the 5th row, whatever is the value, you want to extract only that. That is where it is useful. Whenever you work with retail data, you will get this scenario where you have just the row number. You know the cell address. So you will be able to use this function index. Instead of selecting single column, you can select range of columns. Only the column number will change. That's it. Okay.
Row number we can select it.
No, row number we cannot select. You have to type it. Here it's the position which is asking, not the cell address.
Entire
Yes.
reference. Okay.
Right.
Row number, so which we know already.
Yes. You can give row number 3, column number 1. No. Match function will just tell you the position, and index will retrieve the value based on some position. Okay, both are 2 different functions.
Why is it showing me diagram? What does it store? Is equal to index.
Is equal to, you selected entire column. You should select only range of columns. B:B you selected, no?
This one.
No, not here. You should go to that sheet. You can see that the formula. You should go to order sheet. There you select entire column. Same sheet, why do you want to retrieve
So
the value?
basically, okay.
From the previous sheet.
Because like in this entire Excel file, you don't know.
Why you want to, same sheet, why do you want to retrieve the value? Okay. Now I'll put another question here. Instead of retrieving order ID, I want to retrieve the product name. Okay, let's go ahead and modify this formula. The only change is now I have selected only one column, right? I'll go ahead and select all the columns till product name. Select all the records. The column position is 15. You can see automatically you can fetch. In this order sheet, it goes to the row number 3, column 15 and fetch the value. The interviewer will put a question like this, okay? We have a orders data, for example. Can you fetch the second row, third column? We have 10,000 records. Can you go to the second row and third column? Whatever value is there, can you fetch it? You can do that with the help of index function, okay? Second row is simple. We know the row number. Column is third column, he said, right? Which is C. In Excel, everything starts with column A, right? C3. That is the cell address. You can see the cell address over here. So basically, you are trying to fetch whatever the value is there for that C3 or C4, whatever the range is. So how do you specify the range? You can specify the range by giving the position 3, 15. What is 3, 15? Can you tell me the cell address now? C15. Sorry, this is row number 3. 15, what is 15? 1, 2, 3. O. O3. Whatever is in O3, it will fetch that. Let's go ahead and see what is in O3. Sorry, not O3. P3. See here. Decoflex hanging personal folder file. You can find that same product. Basically, it has the cell address. It is trying to take the cell address and retrieve the value. So instead of passing cell address, you have to pass it in the position. The first one is row, second one is column. But generally, you don't use this function a lot. VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP is what you will use. In out of which VLOOKUP is what majority of the time you'll use. But it is good to know that there is a function called index. Okay. Yes. Any scenario where you have, the position of the cell and you want to extract a value, you have to go for index. Okay. Shall we take a break for 5 minutes? We'll be back by 1:30. Okay. Meanwhile, if somebody wants to practice on the VLOOKUP. Hey, is my voice audible?
Yes, sir. That's
Okay, so what is the formula? What is index formula? Tell me the difference between index formula and VLOOKUP formula.
In VLOOKUP, you have to select the cell and then the range.
Hmm.
Then which
So
position?
what is the purpose of VLOOKUP? Why do we need to use VLOOKUP?
VLOOKUP we use to identify if the two datas, if we
To
need to
match.
retrieve the data from one sheet to another sheet, when you have in both the sheets one identical value, then you can use VLOOKUP.
VLOOKUP. So what you learned about index function? Index function simple. I am telling again, so you can focus on my words. You have a value in a specific row number or a column. So what is cell address in Excel? What is cell address? We learn about cell address.
For the position of that particular
Cell.
cell is called as cell
Cell
address.
address. Now you take a look at this data. If I ask you what is the cell address of staple on labels?
D12.
D12. What is the cell address of this order ID called 786, which is ending with
B26.
B26? For some reason, you want to extract the value of B26. Okay, how do you extract it? With the help of formula, lookup formula. That's where index formula works in. So now index works on the cell address. You know the cell address. What is B? B का position क्या है? B is the second column. And what is 26?
Row.
26 is the row. So now I'll apply the same formula is equal to, I want to get the value of B26, right? Index, where is this entire data? My entire data is over here. Now what is the row number? 26. What is the column number? 2. A means 1, B means 2. If I close the bracket, what happened? Sorry, column number is 1 here because I selected only one column. So get the same order, right? Okay. Again, I'm repeating, when you know the cell address and you want to extract a value of that cell address, you can use the index function. So now if we understand what is cell address is a combination of row number and column number. Row number you'll come to know from this one. These are the row numbers. Column number is two things. Either you can call column through A, B, C, D, or you can call it with the number also. See here, when I hover, it says 2C, 3C, 4C. 4C means its column is in the 4th position. Okay. What happens is when you work with data, you will get a list of plenty of data points in your Excel sheet. You will get a requirement. Wherever is row number 10 in the 3rd column, take only that value and do some multiplication or do some forecasting. That is when you need to use index. Now clear? Not clear? Okay. Now let's go ahead and learn the next function, which is XLOOKUP. Okay. So anybody know what are the limitations of VLOOKUP? Is there any limitations? No limitations. Huh?
Limitation is
In this, you can.
I mean, I'll change my word. Instead of limitation, I will say in what scenarios VLOOKUP will not work.
what when you are trying to retrieve the data in VLOOKUP, always the data should be the beginning. The lookup value should be at the extreme to your left. I mean, you have to start the lookup from the what to say. I mean, the data, whatever you're searching should be extreme. It should start from that range.
Ending.
Yes.
You are saying start and you are saying ending.
No, not ending. Start, beginning of the. See, for example, if you are searching some data in the middle of that sheet, you're not working.
That is what I'm telling. She is telling that.
It will work, no? Why it will not?
It was not working actually.
Huh?
the same formula.
Huh.
He was trying to do somewhere here in between this.
Uh-huh.
VLOOKUP.
Hmm.
It was not working. Then he
If
came.
I show you, it will work. No, it will work. No, for example, this is the product ID. Let me copy this product ID and put it in a new sheet. Here, this is the product ID. Now, this order is in this column is in middle, and you are saying it will not work. So I'll go ahead and apply VLOOKUP.
No. While applying itself, we are telling that.
What you are telling?
See, in case I'll insert here and I want to apply the VLOOKUP. Okay.
Same sheet.
Yeah.
You are saying you want to apply. Yeah. So you are saying you want to apply VLOOKUP on the same sheet. It will not work.
In between, it doesn't work.
That's what is the output you are trying to say? You have to rephrase that. So you are saying you want to apply VLOOKUP in the same sheet, it will not work wherever it is the position.
Position matters a lot.
Okay. If I say you there also it will work. You said you inserted a column, right? Like say example, you inserted a column here. And here VLOOKUP will not work. That's what you're saying, right? It will work. Why it will not work?
I didn't use it when I tried. It was not happening. Then
It will work, okay, but VLOOKUP has a limitation. You cannot retrieve the data if it isn't somewhere in the data.
Yeah, so that's okay. I think he got the point. So I'll just I think all of you are very close, but you are not able to put it in the right words. You are not able to put it in the right words. Okay, so very important. That's why we say, right? So one of the most common instances I have seen when I conduct interview is people are really strong in technical skills. They know everything, every written formula, functions, any complex problem they can solve, but they cannot communicate that. That is the biggest problem. Okay. See, you will only be able to you will be only be successful when you communicate. Though you know everything, but you can't explain it, then it doesn't matter. You are not able to represent yourself. So the communication is important because that will help you understand the problem and solve the problem. Else you cannot understand problem, you will solve the wrong problem.
putting the right words.
So you have to frame it. Okay. That will easy your entire interview, not just interview. When you work with clients, gather requirements, it will ease that process. Second thing is, you will also be coming up with the correct valid results. Not many questions, not many meetings will happen. I have seen a lot of projects have gone into escalation phase. The reasons being, sir, your resources are asking same question again and again. We don't want to continue this project. Please hand over it to someone else. Your resources have built a very beautiful dashboard in Excel. They have written a lot of good complex business logics and the results are amazing. When we conducted a demo, they are not able to explain how these numbers are coming from. For an example, I'll say, what is the total sales for this? They are able to replicate, build it. How did this sales came from? You applied a VLOOKUP, but VLOOKUP is not working for some records. Why? Why your VLOOKUP is showing NA? You should be able to debug, troubleshoot, and explain that to your client or your end user, because this record is not available in this sheet. This is the row number, this is the ID. If I do it manually, see, there is no such record. Hence, the result is NA. You have to explain it. So the communication is very important. Okay. Always ensure that you use the right words, right vocabulary, so that it will be easy. Don't use complex terminologies. Always go some kind of scenario specific, showcase them live instead of using it in words. Showcase them live. Okay, so now coming back to VLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP works on most of the scenarios. There is no issues with the formula. Only one instance it won't work is if you want to search some information which is on extreme left hand side of the lookup value, which means for this order ID, all we did was we were able to fetch order date, we were able to fetch the shipment date, product name, and all of that. For this order ID, I want to know what is the row ID, which is in the left hand side. For an example, if you see here, let's apply the formula again, is equal to VLOOKUP. What is the lookup value? Lookup value is over here. Where is this information available? It's available over here. Now, what we generally do is we start selecting from order ID. We cannot select from row ID. The formula will not work. That is point number one. Please make a note. I'll repeat again. If you want to search, you will first select order ID because your lookup value is order ID, right? That's why you're selecting here. So I'll select this. I can only do like this. I cannot say select these two. What is the position of the column? I want row ID. You can't say minus. So it won't work. That is the limitation of VLOOKUP. Second is, any point of time you're searching, the lookup value should be your first column. When you select this entire table, you should always go like this. You cannot select from here. Okay, that is one of the issue with the VLOOKUP. And what is the alternative workaround? What is the workaround for this? Can you think logically? For example, for this order ID, where is order ID? This is the order ID. I want to know what is the row ID for this. What is the workaround? If I want to use VLOOKUP only, I don't want anything else. What is the workaround?
Take that row ID.
Exactly. Copy this row and put it somewhere on the right hand side. Great. Let's go ahead and insert one. That is the workaround. Okay. Now imagine if the data is complex. Doing this is a dangerous activity in Excel. Okay. You might feel like it's a very easy thing, copy paste. Copy paste is one of the most dangerous work in Excel. I have already seen many people who has applied a filter and then copy paste it. Please never copy paste when you have applied filters. As a best practice, first remove all the filters and then paste your data. Whenever you work with a numerical data, never ever try to copy it. Be a little bit of carefulness when you are copying, because if you have example 10 lakh records, Excel will say, I pasted around 9 lakh records, last 1 lakh records, I'm tired, I can't do it. I'm out of memory. Anybody know what is memory? What is memory? No, memory is not storage. Memory. No. In Excel, what is memory?
Capacity.
No. Capacity, storage can also be capacity.
Limitation.
Memory, Baba. So, this is the basics, right? We are using a laptop. This laptop has some kind of memory. So, how do you know? You go and click on Task Manager. You will see what is the configuration. This is memory. My laptop is a 32 GB memory. Your laptop could be 16 GB. CPU. What is CPU? All of you have obviously are from at least from engineering background, or at least you're not engineering. So CPU don't know basics, no? That is
Central processing unit.
this is like the 3 Idiots movie. Induction.
Central processing unit.
That is true. What you are saying is a theoretical explanation. Okay. We don't want any theoretical. Tell me practically. That guy was saying, you know, what is induction motor? Drum, drum, drum. So this is the answer you are giving. Okay. You should understand process. CPU is a area. It's kind of a device which will basically take care of processing it. What is the difference between CPU and memory?
CPU processes the thing, and memory is the place where you keep the data while it is processed.
Exactly.
Meaning, though we say it is multitasking, at one particular point of time, CPU can only work on one thing. So it cannot hold everything at a time to process it. So it stores those data in the memory and then processes it.
Okay.
So that is again segregated into different part of it if you deep dive into it. But basically speaking, it's something like an scan wherein like say I start working on three things. I only can do two things at a time. I keep one thing for next processing. Right? I mean, I finish first two things and then I'll take up the other thing. So it's like that. So memory keeps there so that the next time when CPU is ready to work on that, all those data is kept there.
So I'll give it in a basic language. You want to have a food. Before having a food, you have to chew the food, right? Right. So what do we need for that? We need teeth. We need a mouth, right? So we'll do all that we are in order to, before digestion, we are trying to do some activity. Similarly, CPU, what it takes care of is it has to process something. Whenever you open Excel, put a filter, it has to process. Backend may it has to process that. That's where CPU is utilized. What is memory? Memory is something like whatever this task you're doing. Example, you copied this entire range of data controls.
Storing the data.
Right. Storing data is different. Memory is different. Memory means now this is a remembrance. So this laptop is now remembered that this portion of data is copied. Now I can go ahead and paste it here, which means it knows that I copied something with the help of Control C. It is still in memory. I remember this. Okay. Storage is different. Storage is the capacity. How many files I can store in my laptop? You can see the capacity here. Okay. So Excel, not just Excel, you work with any application. Every application has its own memory utilization, its own CPU utilization, its own storage utilization. Okay. Let's understand what is CPU utilization. If I go ahead and click on process and see in this Excel, there are so many applications running in my laptop. If I go ahead and click on Microsoft Excel, it is consuming some CPU percentage. I think it is in very less percentage, it's showing 0. Take a look at that Zoom meetings. It is taking around 15.6% of my CPU. It is taking 668 MB of my memory and some storage. Okay. Now you know the difference between CPU, memory, and storage. Whenever you work with a very large amount of data in Excel, like I said, you are trying to copy this entire data, paste it, it says out of memory because Excel has a limitation as a tool. So it cannot work with large amount of data. Maybe it is capability is 1 GB of memory. More than 1 GB it cannot handle. So you are trying to copy data more than that. Then it will throw an error out of memory. It's not my cup of tea. Okay. So always remember when you're trying to copy your data, you're making sure first is filters are not applied. Second thing is the reason why you're trying to copy.
It do not work.
Exactly.
Using formula. I mean, when you have filters, formulas are done.
Yeah. So you will learn this in more detail when you learn SQL, right? So why we should use SQL, why we should not Excel and all of that. So we'll come back to our VLOOKUP, right? So VLOOKUP, what is the, can anybody tell me now? What are some of the conditions of VLOOKUP? There are two conditions we spoke about, right? First condition is the data has to be always selected in the first
Right.
position. And second is, as you are saying, right side. Whatever the information you are trying to retrieve should always be on the right hand side. Okay. If you're not able to maintain that data, it's okay. For example, here, you're not able to maintain the data as a first column. But whenever I'm applying VLOOKUP, I'll always ensure I'll select order ID as my first column. Okay. Now, what will happen in a scenario where your data is like this? I'm just duplicating this sheet. Okay. Nothing else. I have made everything on the left hand side. Now order ID is over here. Now all my other columns are on the left hand side. Okay. So in this scenario, let's see how our XLOOKUP will work. XLOOKUP is another optimized version of VLOOKUP. There are many ways. It will help you achieve your results in a better format compared to VLOOKUP. There's no much difference. We will see how it will help you. And you will also compare between VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP. Okay. Same thing I'll do. I want to fetch order date. With the help of XLOOKUP, I have the order ID over here is equal to XLOOKUP. First thing it is asking is lookup value. What do you want to search? I want to search this value, comma. Where is this value? Lookup array means array is nothing but table. Table means range of data. Where is this data? My data is over here. Okay, lock the cell. If this data is successfully found, what do you want in return? In return, I want order date. Where is order date? Over here. I'll select the entire range of order date, lock the cell. Then let's close the bracket. Since it's a date, it's giving in number format. The results are ready. What are the advantages here? You don't have to remember the column index number. In VLOOKUP, you should know whether it is a column 12, column 15, column 16, manually find out. Here, you don't even have to do it. That is the first advantage. Second advantage, you don't have to select entire range of data. See here, my lookup array, I selected only order ID ka entire column value. Return में whichever I want, I can select. Now, instead of order date, I want product name. Okay. Only change in the formula is, if this value is found, what do you want to return? I'll simply go to this sheet. Where is product name? Product name is over here. I'll just select the entire column.
Product, full column.
Full column. Okay. Instead of product name, example, you want subcategory. Just select the entire subcategory. No. No. Okay. Now, if I hit enter, you see here subcategory. Instead of subcategory, I want to know product name. I'll change it to column N. Okay. These are the two benefits of XLOOKUP. So the first benefit, wherever your data is, it is on the left-hand side, right-hand side, we don't care. It will still work. You don't have to remember the column index number, whether it is in column position 2, 3, 4. No, nothing, no need to remember. Only way we can handle with XLOOKUP is just select the column. What do you want to search? You want to search order ID, just select the entire order IDs wherever it is available. And once this is found, what do you want to return? I want to return example customer ID, select entire customer ID. Can you try XLOOKUP and see if it is working? Your laptop is not working. Battery? Charger is not there. If you want, you can practice in my laptop. Anybody done now? Working super. So which is your favorite? VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP? VLOOKUP. XLOOKUP. You are already using XLOOKUP, I guess, right? You said you.
sometimes that is what I was, the mistake was like I used to select the full range. When you said that we have to select that.
You are selecting this entire column like this.
The way I was selecting the range and all, it was like.
You are selecting like this, you are saying, right?
Yeah, entire till.
You are selecting this entire column, huh? Like this, huh?
No, from starting I used to.
Like this, huh?
Yes.
Huh?
That
Super.
ID was that. Which one?
It's coming, no? You selected, see, I selected entire column T. It will not go. Is equal to XLOOKUP. Where do you want to search? Order ID. Select order ID.
This one, right?
Comma. Where is that order ID?
You.
Just select only order ID. Column B. No, order ID. Where is order ID? Okay. Select everything.
Like this.
Select. It will work. Select.
Okay.
Comma. Once it is found, what do you want to retrieve? You want product name? Where is product name? Select that entire product name. Close the bracket.
You have to remember the cell. You have to count.
That is, but still there are a lot of smart people who want to still use VLOOKUP. Even I use VLOOKUP, you know that. Though, though I know, but I have very strong grip. I know how to debug. So that's why.
I mean, from morning till full whole day you will be working on Excel only. That's why we work with other things and once in.
That is true. That is why you are here, right? So you want to change your profession, right? You want to get into data. You don't want to get into data. Okay, it's working for everyone. Anybody, it's not working. And now I will take a moment and now imagine whatever you have learned in Excel so far from day 1 to till date, and tell me what level of improvements we can do in order to write better formulas. So we know how to call a cell address, we know how to lock the cell, right? We know some multiple different formulas, right? What is some of the painful point here? Every time when you are writing a formula, there is something which is very painful here. Can you observe something which is, one is the column index number, right? You are finding it really difficult that every time you should know whether it is column 12, 15, that is one pain point. What is the second pain point? Are you feeling easy to write the formula or is it feeling difficult? Difficult, right? Because we are working with many columns here. So column number, if you see, how many columns do we have? We have approximately around
Actually, we have to start from
20 columns.
3 columns. That you have to start practicing, then you can work on it.
No, I'm not asking about formula. Are you feeling difficult in writing formula? I'm saying
the range of
what are the problems you have to remember before writing a formula. You should know from which column you need to select.
For VLOOKUP, we should keep in mind that it has to start.
It has to start from the beginning. It has to.
It is again, we have to have
Identicals and all of that, right? Now we also learned a concept called name manager. You remember? What is name manager? So now, so far, I think today is what? Today is our 6th or 7th session in Excel. Now, from now onward, it's all about what we learned. We need to use multiple things and come up with a new skill set. Okay. We learned something called name manager. What is that? Again, this topic is around cell address only. Excel may every formula is depend on cell address.
Is that?
That's why I'm not asking you. I'm looking into these people because they didn't see it, right? So, okay. So you can go to formulas and there's an option called name manager. Okay. Did you forgot? We spoke about name manager. Remember? See, for an example, let's go ahead. Let's say there is an order ID over here at B18. We have some order ID. Okay. This is a escalation. For some reason, this order ID got escalation. You know how to add comments, right? Right click, add a comment. For some reason, this order has got escalation.
So we use.
No, don't link anything there. For now, focus on this one. So this order ID is having some escalation going on. Everybody is on top of it. You have to provide a lot of updates. As an MIS or a data expert, you will be asked for this order ID, what is the order date, what is the product name and all of that. So what is the cell address of this? B18. So every time you want to retrieve the value of this one, how do you retrieve it? Okay. So now instead of every time remembering B18, I'll go to name manager. I'll create some user-friendly name. I'll call this as escalated order. Where it refers to, I'll go to this cell. Click on OK. Now, whenever I want to know what is the order ID of that escalated order, I don't have to remember the cell address. I'll just type escalated order. Can you try this and tell me if this is making sense? We are a little bit closer to the problem I asked, but try it out and tell me. I think you can, someone is in unmute. Ashwini. Who's Ashwini? It's working.
So instead of name, we have to give this.
Give some meaningful name. That is called as name manager. Okay, working. Can you use name manager in your all XLOOKUP, VLOOKUP formulas?
So add new value.
Click on new.
You have to
Give some name. Escalated order.
Okay.
Refers to. Remove everything, whatever is. Just select some order ID. Click on OK. Close. Go and write a formula is equal to escalated. Anywhere. Escalated. What is name manager? Maybe example, my name is very difficult to pronounce. You will give me a shortcut called AJ because it is easy for you to pronounce. Same thing here also. You're giving some friendly name. Every time you want to call product name, you know that you have to go to column E. If you want to go to, for example, what else we have? If you want to know, fetch for that order ID, what is the customer name? Column E. What is the country he has ordered? Column H. How many such things you will remember? Very difficult, right? Instead, you can use name manager, right? I'll quickly show you. You can take a look at the screen now. Same, first we'll start with XLOOKUP, okay? Now let's read our XLOOKUP. Somebody want to read it? Interpret this, what we have written here. What we are saying is XLOOKUP B2. Search this order ID in the sheet called orders data V2, column T, which is orders data V2, column T is here. So what I'm saying is, hey, I have an order ID here. Please go ahead and search that order which is present in orders data V2 sheet in the column T. If this order is successfully found, then go ahead and retrieve a value which is available in column N. What is column N? If I go to order V2, column N is my product name. This is what XLOOKUP is doing, right? Now we'll make little bit of better readability of this formula. I'll go ahead and click on name manager. I'll click on new. First thing is I'll give a name called product name. This is a user friendly name. So whenever I want to fetch product name, I will go to this sheet. This is where my product name belongs to. I've given the cell address range. Click on OK. Space will not accept, okay? Give underscore. Now that name alias is friendly name is created. Now here, instead of calling this entire range, it is difficult to remember. I'll just say product name, which means same thing. Go ahead and search this order ID in the sheet called orders data V2. And if the value is found, I want product name. No, let's first fix this one and then. Okay. What is your doubt?
The cursor, we can see the formula what we use. How do we hide the formula? I don't want others.
But why do you want to hide the formula?
Just for I want the
So there is an option called we learned about protections, sheet protections.
that is fine.
And if you want to present the data to someone else, you need not have to copy, you just copy whatever formula, just text you put it.
Yeah, I know that. But whenever we put cursor, we can see the
No,
formula.
if I put cursor here, where is the formula? No, this is formula bar. We want to hide the formula bar. You can hide it, no? Go to view.
There is an option on the
But I still don't understand like why you want to hide it. That you increase, no? No, you want to see atoms inside the formula bar, huh? What is the question? Do you know what is your question?
We're not supposed to do the background. We're not supposed to. So what we do?
You do like this, I know.
Copy and put it.
You'll do like this. No, later first understand what she want to ask. Think and tell.
No, nothing.
Till now I'm curious. How can we hide the form?
Okay. So we did first level of optimization. Let's do the second. Even this part is very confusing, right? We can give name manager for this one also. Let's go ahead and create one more name manager. I'll click on new. I'll give this as order ID. Where is order ID? Order ID is over here in this sheet on this particular column. Okay. So the next time, whenever I want to do a lookup on order ID, instead of calling this range, I would simply type order ID. Now the formula is much simple, right? Is equal to XLOOKUP. Let's apply it from the beginning. Is equal to XLOOKUP. What is the lookup value? Lookup value is here. Where is my order ID? I don't know. I have already created a name manager called order ID. If this value is found, I want to get product name. She is very happy. Okay, you can go ahead and try it out. Oh. But there are still folks who will not use it.
You can do it for the entire column, no?
That's how we have given entire column, no?
Name manager.
Yes, you can give it for individual cell. Pura column select kar lo.
Right, no? If I do-
Hmm.
But we have to remember what we have given. No.
Working up.
Written. That is okay.
No, you can't remember just now the name which you created. Huh?
No, just no.
तो इसीलिए ना when you will be working with example HR का data. Salary के लिए you'll give a column name called salary only, right? You will not call salary के लिए currency. Working on. Now, those who have completed, instead of product name, I want subcategory. Can you modify your XLOOKUP with the help of name manager? It should not take more than 10 seconds, okay? All you have to do is go to name manager, create a new name called subcategory. Just map that in your XLOOKUP. Okay, so let's go ahead and revisit what we have learned today. We started with text functions. We learned more or less most of the functions we already know. We learned concatenate, where you can club two different texts into one. Then we went and started with lookup functions, which is the first function we learned in lookup. VLOOKUP. Any data which is aligned vertically, we'll use VLOOKUP. Any data which is aligned horizontally, we'll use HLOOKUP. We learned the various ways of extracting the data in VLOOKUP. The only condition is we need to remember the column index number. Okay. And then we learned the next function, which is match. What is match function? If you just want to know the row number on which this data is available, match function will just print you the row number. Index function, if you know the cell address, if you know the row number and column name, you can print the value of that using the index function. Okay. And then we learned about XLOOKUP. What is XLOOKUP? It is again an alternative for VLOOKUP. However, it is more streamlined, enhanced version wherein you don't have to remember the column index. Only 3 parameters are needed. The first parameter is which is the lookup value. Where is that value available? If it is found, what is the return information you want? Now, one of the benefits of XLOOKUP is not just better than VLOOKUP, plus it has additional parameters. If I give comma, you see there is something called if not found. If the value is not found, how do you want to handle it? Instead of printing an error, I can say value not found. What is the advantage? In VLOOKUP, we have to use if error function. In case if you want to handle any error, you have to use if error after the VLOOKUP, right? Here you don't have to use that function. You can just say if not found. In addition to that, it also has some other options, which is exact match. So let's go 0. Search mode. Do you want to search from beginning to end, or you want to search from last end to start? You have that option also. Why is it important? You're having plenty of data, right? You know, majority of VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP which you're doing is from bottom records. If you give -1, results are much faster. Okay. Minus means bottom. This one.
So if you do 1, it take it from the start.
You don't have to remember that also. Just select here.
No.
Search first to last. Yeah. Okay. So that's about XLOOKUP. Yes, we can use it. Let's go ahead and see here. See, if you see in this particular cell, what is the formula? First is the lookup value. Second is table array. We haven't created any name manager for table array. So we have to create a name manager and you can use that. Okay, I'll quickly show you how to create it. Every time I don't want to remember from B to C. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and click on name manager. I'll click this as order date. Because we are trying to retrieve order date, so I'll give it as order date. What is the reference? Okay. That is the power of name manager. It will take that one. If you remember, no, it will take that. Name manager has 3 different benefits. You can individually select only a specific cell. You can select a range of cells. You can select the entire column. You can select multiple columns. But please note that whenever you use name manager, you have to apply that name manager in as per your formula. Okay. Say, take a look at this VLOOKUP formula. B2 is a lookup value. Here, this is a table array. Table array means what? Along with order ID, you need to include the return wala, jo bhi order data. You need to select both columns. So my name manager is ensuring that I am selecting order ID is first and order date is there. Hence, this is working as expected. Now, same thing if I go for XLOOKUP, the XLOOKUP condition is different. First is lookup value. Lookup array may we should only select order ID, nothing else. So my name manager is ensuring this is only order ID. If the value is found, I want subcategory. My name manager, if I show it, it's only an individual column. See, only column M. Okay. Name manager is very helpful, but please select appropriate name managers based on the requirement of your formulas. If you are creating for VLOOKUP, always have a best practice. When you create name manager, you say here as VL underscore order date, so that you understand this is created for VLOOKUP. Then similarly, the range is different for order ID, right? So you will say here Excel. Excel is what? Extra large. XLOOKUP, yeah. Okay. That is the benefits of name manager. Okay. Any doubts? Clear? Okay. So far, if you look at the content, those are the functions which are very important. Now we have only 4 functions in database. We can cover that. That's not an issue. And again, this is also one of the best formulas, but nobody uses it. But it's up to you. But what I mean to say is overall on the functions part of it, this is what it is. Now the next sessions is all about pivot tables, even more advanced topics of Excel. So please ensure that you have practiced all the previous topics very well, so that you will understand these topics. These are kind of very important topics, because if you understand this, then you will easily understand SQL, you will easily understand Power BI, Tableau, all of them. Else it will be very difficult to understand. Once we are done with that, we will create a live project from scratch. Live project means there is one live real client, real data, real problems, real requirement. We will whatever we have formulas, other things we have learned, using that we'll create a live project. Okay. So thank you everyone for joining. Have a nice day.